The call came through at 0300 hours Baghdad time. I was reviewing patrol routes when the sat phone buzzed. My sister's voice cracked through the static. "Tom's filing for divorce," she said. "He says you're a deadbeat, says you never helped Mom when she was dying, says you abandoned the family for your stupid military career." I set down my pen. Outside the FOB, mortar had been falling all week. Inside, my sister was delivering news that felt like shrapnel. "He's taking the kids to Oregon. Says I'm unfit because I defend you. Says you're the reason our family fell apart." I stared at the tactical map spread across my desk. Red circles marked IED locations. Blue squares showed friendly positions. Simple, clear, not like this. Lisa, the judge, agreed with him, Jake. Emergency custody. I get supervised visits twice a month. The line went quiet except for the hum of generators and the distant sound of helicopters. I'd been in country for 8 months, for more too. "Go. I'm sorry," I said. "Mom's funeral is Thursday." "Tom says you're not welcome." She hung up. I sat there for 10 minutes, then went back to the patrol routes. Sochi Martinez knocked on my door at 0400. "Colonel, you okay, sir?" "I fine, Sergeant." "Brief the squad leaders at 0500. "Roger that, sir." Asterisk, I didn't sleep the rest of the night. I kept reviewing the routes, checking ammunition counts, updating personnel files. Standard stuff, like the kind of work that keeps your hands busy and your mind. Occupied at breakfast, Captain Rodriguez asked about the call. "Family stuff?" I said. "Everything all right?" "Yeah." He nodded and changed the subject to the morning briefing. "That's how it works over there. You don't push, you don't pry. You do your job and trust the other guy to do his." I sent Lisa a text. "Sorry about the kids. We'll call when I can." She didn't respond. I called my CO, Lieutenant Colonel Barnes, and requested emergency leave. "What's the situation, Jake? Family emergency? Sister lost custody of her kids?" "How long you need?" 72 hours, maybe less." "Approved. Martinez can handle your sector." "Thank you, sir." But I didn't take the leave. Not yet. Something felt wrong about the whole thing. Tom had never liked me, but he'd never been this aggressive, and the timing was suspicious. Lisa's divorce had been dragging on for months. Suddenly, it was an emergency. I pulled out my laptop and started making calls. Lisa and I grew up in Bakersfield. Dad was a mechanic. Mom worked at the elementary school. Tom came into the picture when Lisa was 22, fresh out of community college with a degree in business administration. He was older, 35 to her 22. Had money, drove a new truck, owned a small construction company. Lisa was impressed. I was skeptical. "He's good to me," she'd say, when I brought up the age difference. "I'm sure he is." "You don't like him." "I don't know him." But that wasn't true. I'd watched him at family dinners, how he'd interrupt Lisa when she talked, how he'd make jokes about her weight, her cooking, her family, how he'd check his phone every few minutes like he had somewhere better to be. When I deployed to Afghanistan in 2009, Tom made a point of shaking my hand. "Take care of yourself over there, soldier boy." "I will. Lisa's got me to look after her now. She doesn't need to worry about you." I remember thinking that was an odd thing to say. Lisa had always worried about me. That's what sisters do. They got married while I was in Kandahar. Small ceremony. I couldn't get leave. Lisa sent pictures. Tom looked pleased with himself. Lisa looked happy, but something in her eyes seemed different. Guarded. When I came home, they'd bought a house in Fresno. Tom's business was doing well. Lisa was pregnant with their first kid, Sarah. Everything looked perfect from the outside, but Lisa called me less. When she did, Tom was always in the background, commenting on the conversation, making suggestions about what she should say. "Tom thinks you should visit more," she'd tell me. "Tom thinks you should get out of the army. Tom thinks you're being selfish." I started to recognize the pattern. Tom's opinions became Lisa's opinions. Tom's priorities became Lisa's priorities. Tom's version of events became the family truth. When Mom got sick in 2016, I was stationed at Fort Hood. I drove to Bakersfield every weekend for 6 months. Helped with doctor appointments, handled the insurance paperwork. Paid for the treatments that Medicare wouldn't cover. Tom was there too, but he kept track of everything. Who visited when? Paid for what? Who did the most work? Your brothers? Really stepping up, he'd tell the nurses, yeah, he's good with the family stuff. But privately, he'd criticize. I wasn't visiting enough. I wasn't paying enough. I wasn't doing enough. It's easy to throw money at a problem, he said, one day while we were in the hospital cafeteria. But being here every day, that's what really matters. I'm here every weekend. I'm here every day. You live 20 minutes away. I live 4 hours away. Excuses. After Mom died, Tom started telling people I'd abandoned the family, that I'd been too busy with my military career to help with her care, that Lisa had carried the whole burden while I was off playing soldier. The story wasn't true, but it was. Simple. And people like simple stories. From Baghdad, I started making calls. First to my lawyer in Texas, a retired JAG officer named Patricia Henley. Patricia, I need you to look into something for me. What's the situation? My sister's divorce. Her husband is claiming I abandoned the family, got emergency custody of the kids. What's your role in this? I'm not sure, but something feels off. I'll make some calls. Send me the case number. Next, I called my bank. My accounts were fine. No unusual activity, but I had them put a freeze on everything just in case. Then I called my sister's best friend, Maria Santos. She'd known Lisa since high school. Maria, it's Jake. I just heard about the custody thing, Jake. I'm so sorry. This whole thing is crazy. What do you mean? Tom's been planning this for months. He's been building a case against Lisa, recording conversations, saving text messages, documenting everything. What kind of things? He claims she's an alcoholic, says she's neglectful, says she can't handle the kids because she's too worried about you. Lisa doesn't drink, I know. But Tom's got witnesses, his friends, his business partners. They're all saying the same thing. What about Lisa's side? She's scared to fight back. Tom's been threatening her, says if she contests the custody, he'll ruin her, says he'll make sure she never sees the kids again. I hung up and called my old platoon sergeant, Mike Kowalski. He'd retired to Sacramento, was working private security. I need a favor. What's up, LT? I need you to look into someone. My sister's husband, Tom Mitchell. Lives in Fresno, runs a construction company. What am I looking for? Business records, criminal background, financial stuff. Something's not right about this guy. I'll make some calls. 2 days later, Mike called back. Jake, you need to hear this. Your brother-in-law has been running a scam. He's been using your sister's name to get business loans. False documents, forged signatures, the whole thing. How much? We're talking about $200,000, maybe more, and it gets worse. He's been using your military service as collateral, telling lenders that you're backing the loans. What? He's got documents with your name on them. Guarantee forms, reference letters, financial statements. All fake. Jesus. There's more. He's been skimming money from his workers, payroll fraud. The state's been investigating him for months. Does Lisa know? I don't think so. But she's on the hook for the loans. They're married. Community property. I sat in my trailer, staring at the concrete walls. Tom hadn't just been manipulating Lisa. He'd been using both of us as cover for his crimes. Patricia called me back that night. Jake, I've been digging into this custody case. Your brother-in-law's lawyer filed some interesting documents. What kind of documents? Affidavits claiming you've been stealing from your mother's estate? Records showing unexplained payments to your accounts. Character references describing you as unstable and violent. None of that's true. I know, but here's the thing. The financial records are real. Someone's been making deposits into accounts with your name on them. What accounts? That's what I'm trying to figure out. But Jake, this goes deeper than a custody dispute. Your brother-in-law is claiming you've been using your military position to funnel money to your family, suggesting you're involved in some kind of corruption scheme. He's setting me up. It looks that way. And he's using the custody case to give himself credibility. He's positioned himself as the responsible family member, trying to protect the children from their unstable uncle. What about Lisa? She's collateral damage. If he can prove she's been accepting money from you, he can claim she's been complicit in whatever scheme he's alleging. I called Mike back. Mike, I need you to dig deeper. This isn't just about business fraud. Tom's been using my name for something bigger. What kind of bigger? Military contracting, maybe? Government connections? Something that would require a security clearance? I'll check with some contacts at the FBI. This might be federal. 3 days later, Mike called back. Jake, you need to get home now. What did you find? Tom's been running a defense contracting scam. It's been using your name and military credentials to bid on government contracts. Small stuff, but it adds up. He's collected over $1 million in fraudulent contracts over the past 3 years. How is that possible? It's good? Really good. He's got fake documents, forged references, the whole thing. And he's been using your deployments as cover. Every time you're overseas, he ramps up the activity. What about Lisa? She's been signing documents without reading them? He's got her? Convinced it's all legitimate business stuff. But her signature is on everything. She's going to prison, not if we can prove she's a victim. But Jake, there's something else. Tom's been planning this for years. The custody case isn't about the kids. It's about shutting Lisa up. If she loses the kids, she'll do anything to get them back, including keeping quiet about what she's seen. Has she seen? That's what we need to find out. I took the emergency leave, flew from Baghdad to Kuwait, Kuwait to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Dallas, Dallas to Fresno. 36 hours of travel, no sleep, living on coffee and adrenaline. Lisa picked me up at the airport. She looked terrible. Tired, scared. I'm sorry I called you, she said as we drove to her apartment. I know you're busy. Too busy for you? Tom says I'm being dramatic. Says the custody thing is temporary. Says if I behave myself, I can have the kids back. What does behave yourself mean? Don't talk to lawyers? Don't contest the divorce? Don't cause trouble? Lisa, we need to talk. I know. But not at my place. Tom's been watching. He's got cameras, recording equipment. He says it's for security, but I think he's recording me. We drove to a coffee shop in Clovis. Lisa ordered tea but didn't drink it. Just held the cup like it was keeping her warm. I need to tell you something, she said. About the business. About Tom. I know about the loans. You do? I know about the fake documents. The forged signatures. The government contracts. She started crying, not loud, just tears running down her face. I didn't know, she said. Swear I didn't know. He told me it was all legitimate. Said you were helping him get military contracts because you trusted him. When did it start? 3 years ago, maybe 4. He said you'd recommended him for some government work. Said it was a good opportunity, but he needed my help with the paperwork. What kind of help? Signing documents, reference letters, financial statements. He said it was standard business stuff. Did you read them? Some of them? But Tom said I didn't need to worry about the details. Said it was technical stuff that I wouldn't understand. Lisa, those documents were fake. Tom's been using your name and my name to steal money from the government. Oh God, it gets worse. He's been planning this custody case for months. He's been recording you, building a case against you, preparing to take the kids. This isn't about your marriage. It's about keeping you quiet. What do you mean? If you lose the kids, you'll do anything to get them back, including not talking to the FBI about what you've seen. The FBI. This is federal fraud, Lisa. We're talking about prison time. Well, for both of you, unless we can prove you're a victim. Is she? Set down her teacup. Her hands were shaking. What do I do? First, you get a lawyer, a good one. Someone who specializes in federal criminal defense. I can't afford that. I can. Second, you start documenting everything. Every conversation with Tom, every document he's asked you to sign, every meeting you've attended. We need to build a timeline. He'll know, not if we're smart about it. Third, you're going to call the FBI. You're going to tell them everything. You know, and you're going to do it before Tom figures out that we know? What if he takes the kids away permanently? It's already taken them away. But if we can prove he's a criminal, we can get them back. She nodded, still scared but determined. What? About you? Are you in trouble? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. I called Patricia from the hotel. Patricia, I need you to connect me with someone at the FBI, Financial Crimes Division. This is bigger than we thought. How big? Federal contracting fraud, maybe $1 million or more. And it's been going on for years. I'll make some calls. The next morning, I met with Special Agent Rebecca Martinez at the FBI field office in Sacramento. She was young, maybe 30, but she knew her stuff. Colonel Patterson, I understand you want to report some fraudulent activity. That's correct. My brother-in-law has been using my name and military credentials to obtain government contracts. He's also been forging documents and using my sister as an unwitting accomplice. Tell me about the contracts. I spent 2 hours walking her through everything Mike had found. The fake documents, the forged signatures, the business loans, the government contracts. Agent Martinez took notes, asked questions, made phone calls. Colonel, this is substantial. We're talking about multiple federal crimes. Wire fraud, identity theft, government fraud, potentially money laundering. What about my sister? If she's been signing documents without knowing what they were, she might be considered a victim. But we'll need to interview her, and we'll need her cooperation. She's ready to cooperate.
What about the custody case?
I think that's part of the scheme. He's using the custody case to keep her quiet. Interesting. We see that sometimes. Abusers use the family court system to maintain control over their victims. Can you help with that? If we can prove the custody case is related to the fraud, we might be able to intervene. But that's a long shot. What's the next step? We open a formal investigation. We'll need to interview your sister, examine the documents, trace the money trail, and we'll need to do it quietly. If your brother-in-law realizes we're investigating, he might destroy evidence or flee. How long does that take? It depends on how much evidence we find. Could be weeks, could be months. My sister's custody hearing is next week. I can't promise anything about the custody case, but I can promise you we'll investigate the fraud allegations thoroughly. Lisa met with Agent Martinez the next day. She brought boxes of documents, financial records, business correspondence, everything Tom had asked her to sign over the past 4 years. The meeting lasted 6 hours. Lisa answered questions, provided details, explained the timeline. Agent Martinez recorded everything, Mrs. Mitchell. Based on what you've told me, I believe you're a victim of fraud, not a perpetrator. But I need you to understand that this investigation could take a long time, and your husband will likely be arrested. What happens to the kids? That's not our jurisdiction. If we can prove that the custody case was part of a scheme too, keep you quiet. That might help your case in family court. When will you arrest him? When we have enough evidence. Soon. 3 days later, Tom was arrested at his construction site. Federal agents executed search warrants at his office, his home, and his bank. They seized computers, financial records, and business documents. The local news covered the story. Fresno man arrested in federal fraud scheme. Tom's mugshot was on the front page of the paper. Lisa called me that night. Jake, Tom's lawyer, wants to meet with me. He says Tom can explain everything. Says it's all a misunderstanding. Don't meet with him. Don't talk to Tom. Don't talk to anyone except your lawyer and the FBI. But what if he's telling the truth? What if I'm wrong about all this? Lisa, the FBI doesn't arrest people for misunderstandings. Tom's been stealing money using our names for years. It's been manipulating you, threatening you, and using the kids as leverage. This isn't a misunderstanding. I just want my kids back. I know. But the only way to get them back is to tell the truth. All of it. The custody hearing was postponed. Tom's lawyer argued that the arrest was unrelated to the custody case, but the judge wasn't buying it. Mr. Mitchell is facing serious federal charges, Judge Harrison said. Until those charges are resolved, I'm not comfortable making any permanent custody decisions. Your Honor, my client maintains his innocence, Tom's lawyer said. I'm sure he does. But the children's welfare is my primary concern. Custody will remain with the state pending resolution of the criminal case. Lisa wasn't happy. The kids were still in foster care, but at least they weren't with Tom. Tom pleaded guilty 6 months later. The evidence was overwhelming. Fake documents, forged signatures, fraudulent contracts, stolen money. The FBI had built an airtight case. He was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison. The judge ordered him to pay restitution of $1.2 million. He lost his business, his house, his truck. Everything. Lisa got the kids back. The family court judge ruled that she'd been a victim of manipulation and fraud. She got full custody, moved back to Bakersfield, started working at the school district. I'm sorry, she told me one night over the phone. Should have known. I should have asked more questions. You trusted your husband? It's not a crime. I let him turn me against you. I let him use me to hurt you. You were protecting your family. I understand that. Do you forgive me? There's nothing to forgive. But that wasn't entirely true. The betrayal had hurt. It's not just Tom's betrayal, but Lisa's. She'd chosen to believe his lies over my truth. She'd let him convince her that I was the problem. I understood why she'd done it. Fear, manipulation, isolation. Tom had been working on her for years, slowly eroding her confidence, her judgment, her connections to everyone outside his control. But understanding didn't eliminate the pain. I stayed in the Army for 2 more years, then retired to a small cabin in Montana. I fish, I hunt, I read. I volunteer at the VA hospital in Billings. I help other veterans navigate the bureaucracy, fill out paperwork, understand their benefits. Lisa calls every few weeks. She's doing well. The kids are doing well. She's dating someone new, a teacher at her school. He seems like a good man. You should come visit, she says. The kids miss their uncle. I'll think about it. Tom's getting out next year. He's been writing letters. He's asking for forgiveness. Says he wants to make things right. Yes. That's between you and him. I'm scared. You shouldn't be. You're stronger than you think. I don't feel strong. Strong people rarely do. Last month, I got a letter. Not from Lisa, not from Tom, but from a stranger. A woman named Jennifer Chen, an FBI agent in San Francisco. Colonel Patterson, she wrote, wanted to thank you. Your case helped us identify a pattern of fraud that we've been tracking for years. Your brother-in-law wasn't working alone. He was part of a larger network of criminals. We're using military personnel and their families to obtain fraudulent government contracts. Your willingness to come forward and your sister's cooperation helped us shut down the entire operation. We've arrested 12 people and recovered over $5 million in stolen funds. She included a newspaper clipping. Federal task force shuts down military contracting fraud ring. My name wasn't mentioned, but I knew I'd played a part. I keep the letter in my desk drawer, next to a photo of Lisa and the kids. A reminder that sometimes the right thing to do is also the hard thing to do. Sometimes family loyalty means protecting people from themselves. Sometimes love means saying no. I still think about that night in Baghdad when Lisa called. The shock, the betrayal, the quiet collapse. I think about how close I came to just accepting her version of events, to believing that I really was the problem. But I'd learned something in the Army that served me well. When the story doesn't make sense, dig deeper. When the evidence doesn't match the narrative, trust the evidence. When someone tries to make you the villain, look for the real villain. Tom had been counting on my shame, my guilt, my desire to keep the family peace. He'd been counting on Lisa's fear, her isolation, her love for her children. He'd been counting on both of us to stay quiet, to accept his version of reality, to let him get away with it. He'd been wrong. The mountains are beautiful this time of year. Snow on the peaks, green in the valleys. I spend my mornings fishing, my afternoons reading, my evenings watching the sunset. It's quiet here, peaceful. Sometimes I think about getting another phone call, another crisis, another betrayal. And I remember that I'm retired now. The emergencies belong to someone else. The battles belong to someone else. The betrayals belong to someone else. I've done my part. I've paid my dues. I've protected my family, served my country, and helped bring criminals to justice. Now I get to be quiet. Now I get to be at peace. That's enough.